Member from Haliburton, Coastal Lakes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister of the Status of Women. There is a sexual assault centre in Brampton. It currently has 132 people on the waiting list, and it takes 9 months for survivors to get their first session. That wait is about to get longer. Staff hours are being cut, and the centre is closing on Fridays. Mr. Speaker, does the Minister of the Status of Women believe that this is acceptable?
Thank you. The Minister of the Status of Women.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I'm pleased to rise and talk to the member opposite about this important question. Absolutely, sexual violence has a devastating impact on the lives of survivors and their families, and it's far too prevalent in our society, and it's absolutely unacceptable. That's why our Sexual Violence and Harassment Action Plan, through that plan we're addressing awareness, we're raising awareness, we're improving supports, we're making workplaces and campuses safer. Now, we know that Hope 24/7 does important work throughout Peel Region, which is why we have provided them funding for sexual violence and harassment and prevention over the last 20 years. And in fact, of the 42 sexual assault centres in the province, they now receive the 6th highest funding allocation of any of the centres in the province. I think that's amazing. Now, I understand that their model of delivery is different, and we are working with them to ensure that they get the funding, that they are on track. Thank you.
Thank you. Supplementary question.
Well, Mr. Speaker, J. Paul Massey Singh, the president of Hope 24/7 board, had this to say: "Unless the province is prepared to step up in a meaningful way, we are really in a situation where we are going to fail our community." Mr. Speaker, is the government prepared to step up in a meaningful way, or will the Liberals fail sexual assault survivors in Peel Region?
Attorney General.
Well, thank you very much, Speaker. And this is a very important question, and this is an issue that this government and our Premier has taken a tremendous amount of leadership. Our Premier is the one who stood up to make sure that we deal with issues around sexual violence and sexual harassment in a meaningful way, not to just pay platitudes, Speaker, but to actually take action.
Finish, please.
Thank you, Speaker. To take action that is going to ensure that there are supports available for victims of sexual violence and harassment, Speaker, to ensure that we change attitudes when it comes to sexual violence and harassment. Right. By our It's Never Okay campaign, Speaker, we are making a meaningful and substantive difference, and in my supplementary I'll speak to the kind of supports we have available. Thank you.
Final supplementary.
Well, Hope 24/7 has the second lowest funding per capita of all sexual assault centres in the province. Yet the government's tone-deaf response to this crisis in Peel has been that they've funded this centre for 20 years. But what good is this funding if it doesn't meet the needs on the ground? I know that the government doesn't believe in mandatory sexual assault training for judges, but now it seems like they're not prepared to help the most vulnerable victims of sexual assault. Mr. Speaker, once again, will the government respond to the cry for help from sexual assault survivors in Peel Region?
Thank you.
Well, Speaker, Hope 24/7 does important work throughout the Peel Region, but I think it's really important also to note the kind of support that we have been providing to this very important agency. Since 2003, Speaker, our funding for all sexual assault center programs has increased by 45%, Speaker. And in 2015, we increased Hope 24/7's budget by over $31,000 as part of our It's Never Okay action plan to increase funding to all sexual assault centers, Speaker, by 7%. Hope 24/7, Speaker, currently receives almost $500,000, the 6th highest funding allocation in all of Ontario, Speaker. Speaker, we have committed to reviewing counselling services.
The member from Dufferin-Caledon will come to order. Thank you. Finish, please. Wrap up.
We have committed to reviewing counselling services across the province, and we've asked Hope 24/7 to be part of this conversation. This is important work, and we will get it done together.